let's play some flute overtones. This video is for any flute player who has trouble playing low notes or high notes, and they constantly switch between one or the other. Like you're playing a scale and then you're going up the B flat scale and it sounds like this. Which I hear a lot, usually right around F and G and definitely A. A lot of students have trouble playing those notes in the correct octaves. And then of course going lower, like low E, F. Sometimes students have trouble with that one, but definitely E flat, the low E flat and the low D, and then even lower than that. The low notes are difficult on flute. High notes are difficult on flute. The middle notes are also a little bit difficult. It's not the best instrument in the world for beginners, and yet everyone wants to play flute for whatever reason. I usually have a lot of extra flutes in my classes. So let's begin with this paper that I have in the description, which is the Overtones for flute. The first example is just starting on F, and in each measure everything has the same fingering. So those first two notes, the low F and the high F, the same fingering. Then we're going to have a low E and high E, same fingering, low D and high D, and we're going to use the same fingering. Even though middle D is usually played like this, we're going to keep this finger down, and we're going to play the low D, and then we will have low C. And if at any point you have a hard time playing the lower notes, that's fine. If you can only get one or two or three of these notes to speak well, that's fine. You can use any note down there, including notes from the second example, which we will get to. You can use E flat for sure, and D and C sharp. Anything down there works. We're just focusing on playing the different registers or the different partials, which is normally a brass word. It's a word for any instrument that uses overtones. That being said, let's play through this example. This is example 1A. The goal is to slur between these partials, going up and down, making sure that when you're playing your low notes, you have a very open mouth on the inside, even if the embouchure is small. And when we are going to switch to the high notes, we're going to add a little bit of more focus here to get a smaller aperture for the air to come out, and a little bit faster airstream. And as we start to go higher than these notes especially, we're going to blow the air a little bit more in the downward direction. We're using this upper lip to make that happen. Although you can't really consciously do it. You can't think, I'm going to move my upper lip and expect it to do what you want it to do. It's a very, very small adjustment. Like the difference between a butter knife and a surgical scalpel. That kind of difference. So through trial and error, that means lots of repetition and lots of failure and lots of trying again before you get it, and that's totally fine. Let's play through that example again, and then I'll play through all of these, the rest of these once. Maybe I won't play the high A. I don't even know if I can play that one. I just know that that overtone exists. Here's example 1A again. Example 1B, same concept, except now we're going up. We should expect a little bit of difficulty for the low C, and probably also a little bit of difficulty for the high C. Here's what 1B sounds like. If you can, play along with me. We're taking things slowly still. Okay. If you had any trouble with that, go ahead and do that again. Which is to say, if you had a lot of trouble with this, and if these are the only overtones you play for a whole week, that's fine. It took me a while to get into these when I was learning flute for the first time. And even now I don't practice them as much as I should. But they are good for you, and they will help you focus your higher notes, and they will help you differentiate the different registers that you have to play. Now, example 2 is starting on low C. If you still can't play the low C, but you would like to play these with me, just start on whatever note you can play. If it's D or E or F, that's totally good. We're going to play 3 notes, 3 different notes on each fingering, but I'm going to emphasize again that the fingerings stay the same. We shouldn't be moving our fingers for any of these examples. So, low C, and then middle C, and then G, all on this fingering. Here's what that sounds like. And if you really want to see what is happening here, you can get a magnifying glass and put it against your computer screen. That's probably a bad idea. It's really hard to see what's going on. That being said, a little bit faster air for the higher notes is a thing, but it is not always the best thing. If that's what you have to do now because you're having a hard time focusing, that's fine. But remember, we want to have more focus for the higher notes and just a little bit of faster air, not all fast air and no focus. We could certainly open wide and blow air like a fire hose, and I'm sure that will accomplish the goal. But since we can't do that, we want to do the opposite, which is focus, make the airstream small and like a laser pointer, surgical scalpel, whatever really detailed instrument you want to think of. Let's play through example 2 now. I'm going to start on the low C again and just go straight up, all the way through. B. E. F. G. So I'm clearly having trouble with some of those higher ones. Again, if you practice this every day, you'll get better at it. If I practice it every day, I would get better at it. That being said, here's example 3. we now have 4 notes on each fingering. Again, emphasizing the fingers don't change when the notes change, except for when we go to the next measure. Then you're just going to the next note up. We're going to have low C, middle C, middle G, and high C. Example 3. Yep. I'm sure my neighbors love this one, and yours will too. Wait till we get into saxophone overtones, because those are so much more piercing, especially on alto. That being said, this is the flute video. You don't have to get your alto saxophone out just because you heard it. Keep fluting, guys. I hope you got something out of this, and I hope it inspires you to practice something that is so weird compared to the things you've done before, that it inspires you to practice more. That being said, please subscribe to this video if you haven't. Wow. Yes, this video and only this video. No. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell, like the video, comment, post video responses of you playing overtones. That would be great. If we had like 50,000 videos of people playing overtones on flute on the YouTube, we would be so much better for it. Certainly better than cat videos. Have a nice day, guys. Happy fluting.